Hello friends, hope everyone is fine. Today we will be installing Oracle 19c Rack on Oracle Enterprise Linux 7.7. This will be multi-tenant environment. Hope you guys enjoy this video. And if you are liking my videos and you are watching my videos regularly, then please like my videos and please subscribe my channel. I will be very happy with that. And please share this with your friends and families, whoever is actually preparing for interview or whoever requires this video to gain more knowledge. Okay, let's get started. So let's discuss about what has already been completed, whatever I have already performed. I haven't performed most of the stuff, or you can say I haven't performed around 2% of the stuff because I wanted to show how to install the Oracle Rack. Correct? So these will be the steps. What I have done is I have installed Oracle Enterprise Linux operating system, that will be version 7.7 on the three virtual machines. Okay, let me pull up the virtual machines. These are my three virtual machines, rack 1, rack 2 and rack 3. I will show you what configuration I am using on these three machines. Okay, and I have already downloaded the database as well as grid software. So the way to download those software is, let me show you guys. Okay, so if anyone haven't ever downloaded the softwares, that is binaries from Oracle website, then if they want to actually replicate whatever I am going to perform, they can use google.com and they can search Oracle database, and then they can search Oracle database 19c download. Okay, Oracle database 19c, and better is to search Oracle database base 19c download. Okay, and then you can select not the Microsoft Windows one. Okay, we will be installing on the Oracle Enterprise Linux, so select this one, and I will be using 19.3. I'm not using 19.5, and even though 19.5 is only available for Solaris, so we will not be using that. We will be using that for Linux. Okay, so I have downloaded from here. Okay, so just select all. So what two pieces you guys need to download is the 64-bit 19.3. okay, this one, not the RPM. okay, we are not using the RPM file, we will be using zip file. So this one and this one. okay, so this is for the clusterware installation, and this is for the database installation, database software installation. Okay, and very important thing, if anyone is trying to download these two softwares, they will need to create the account in the oracle.com. it's completely free, so you guys can go ahead and create the account. It doesn't require any credit card or anything. It requires account to be created. Make sure that create the account, come to this specific location, and then download these two files. These files are around 2.5 gigs. okay, so okay, let's move forward. This is done, and I hope you guys will already have Oracle Enterprise Linux 7.7. If somebody do not have Oracle Enterprise 7.7, please reach out to me on my page, and then you can comment on the specific requirement, and then I will share the Google Drive. Okay, so let's close this. So what we will be doing is, what I am using is, I will be using the SSH client. This is Mobile Extern. Okay, this is the SSH client I will be using. Why I am using this? Because this is a tabbed client, easier to navigate. You guys can use the PuTTY client as well. Okay, then I will be using the Oracle Enterprise Linux. I have already downloaded this. I have already told you about and informed you that I have already downloaded the database software from the location I specified earlier and the grid software. Okay, so this has been done. I am using the VMware 14 Pro. Okay, I am using the WinSCP to transfer the file. This is the WinSCP software. I am highlighting it. Just a second, let me open it up. This is WinSCP. You guys can download it from google.com. Okay, let me close it. And the important resource. So my current machine, okay, so these three operating system, three virtual machines, okay, which has IP address of 10.171, 172 and 173. Okay, these three machines will be using 100 GB. This will be dynamic allocation. Dynamic allocation means when you allocate the space 100 GB, it is not going to take all this 100 GB space from your disk drive. It will use according to whenever it requires, right? It will write and read, and then it will actually acquire those space. Okay, so it's dynamic. So this is for the local OS. Okay, and these are for the ASM requirement. Now ASM actually is a common storage, okay, where we will be storing our data files. Okay, we will be creating flash recovery area, okay, where the backup and recovery files will be sitting, okay, or archive files will be sitting, and ext disk where the voting file as well as the OCR file will be sitting. Okay, I hope if all of you whoever is actually watching this video is intermediate and as well as beginner level and who knows about what is the architecture of rack. If you guys do not know how to install the Oracle Enterprise Linux, then you guys can actually follow my channel and go to the earlier videos and find the specific video series, and then you can get to know how to install Oracle Enterprise Linux. Okay, I will be using 8 GB RAM for 3 of them. Okay, so 24 gigs in all. Now the operating system requirement is I'm using 3 Oracle Enterprise Linux nodes which I have already installed. Okay, I have already informed you about that, and 100 GB locally, and 100 GB is completely separate. So this is 300 GB, but it is completely separate from these disks. Okay, as you all know that clusterware environment or Oracle Rack real application cluster environment is the environment where the instance will have its own specific storage drive. Okay, but the data files, right, the flat files will be sitting under the common storage, and all the instances, the 3 nodes, will be accessing those files. Okay, data files. Hope everyone knows about it. Now the configuration will be, we will be configuring 2 network adapters. While installing this operating system, I have already configured the 2 network adapters. Let me show you what my configuration looks like. Now the question comes, why do you need 2 network adapters? The requirement being is one will be the public network and the second will be the private interconnect, where those 3 nodes will be talking to each other. Okay, you do not want your storage to be used by a public or internet. Okay, otherwise it will be hacked or kind of a breached, right? You don't want that. So let me show you one of the configuration. So as I already said that memory I am using at around 8 GB. Okay, don't worry about processor, hard drive. This is for the local storage. Okay, we will be installing the clusterware software and the grid software, right? So we will be needing the local storage, all these software, right? So talking about the software, it will be stored in the local hard disk. It will not be stored in the common storage. Okay, why my one network adapter is bridged, it will be actually mapping or replicating the same network as my home network. Okay, so I will be using internet using this. Okay, and this will be called a public network, and the second one will be host only network, where the 3 nodes will be talking to each other using this host only network. Okay, other than that you don't require anything. Let me come out of it. So all 3 of them are of same configuration. Okay, let me cancel it. Let's go to the nodes again. So I already informed one is public and one is private interconnect. We will be adding the disk for the ASM. We will be installing the ASM because all these machines cannot see the local. So to just to make sure that we all are on the same page, we need to make sure, right, that the common storage has to be shared disk, right? All three nodes, right, all three machines need to see those hard disks, right, and can access and read and write those disks. For that we need to make sure that we need to do some specific configuration in this virtual machine so that all three disks can actually access that particular shared disk, and then eventually we can install the ASM library, and on top of it we will eventually install clusterware. Okay, and we will be storing some specific files, and then finally we will be storing the database files. Okay, so we need to make sure that we will be configuring the shared storage as well. Currently only the local storage has been configured. Local storage, just keep your mind, is local storage is whatever, when you install any operating system, right, when you install this particular operating system, right, it comes with multiple drives, right, or if it doesn't come with a drive, it comes with specific drive, C drive, right, where the operating system is installed. And if you have ample amount of disk space, you can partition that to create different disks. Okay, but that is local to this particular machine, right? No other machine in your laptop or whatever, right, different machines sitting at your home can access these drives. So this is not shared currently. Okay, but if you want something at your home as well, right, some specific shared environment where you can access your photos, right, from one specific area, then you have to create network attached storage, and that is a network kind of storage where you create you actually configure the hard disks, right, and make sure that you map the disks to the machine so that machines can see those disks. I'm just giving you an analogy for the specific shared versus the local disk. This is local disk, this is not a shared disk, so other machines that sitting at your home cannot access it. Okay, so let's close this, minimize this. Okay, so that's the reason I said we configure VMX file, and then we will need to start the host. We will start all the hosts, right, all three nodes. Then we will turn off the firewall, we will check the IP addresses. Okay, and modify the hosts file. Now regarding the hosts file, this is very important configuration, because see, while installing the clusterware, it requires some specific configuration, that is listener configuration, right, and it requires some specific IP addresses. Those IP addresses will be for the private VIP, and that will be for the public VIP and the scan IP. Okay, these will be the listeners. You don't, so not talking about the private IP, but I'm referring to the virtual IP and listener. Okay, so the listener will be installed during the clusterware installation, and listener will be started, and all the services will be registered through the listener, so that when the client wants to connect, right, they will be able to connect using the listener to the specific service, right, to the specific database service. Okay, so we will ping all the nodes so that all the nodes are communicating with each other. So what we will do, let's start this, and then we will move on with the specific stuff. Otherwise the video will be too long, right? We will need to reach to specific place where we will start installing the grid or the clusterware software, and then we will eventually install Oracle database software and then Oracle database. Okay, so let's move on. So first thing first, let's create the shared disk. As I talked about, I will be creating 3 shared disks. Okay, don't worry about the name, I will tell you what then the names are. First we need to create 65, 50 and 30 GB and make sure those disks are persistent. For that we will need to shut down the machine. So I will being in root, Okay, I will shut down. I have shut down. I am going to shut down the machines. Copy, paste. Okay, I haven't started it yet. Shut down, and shut down. Okay, so all three machines are down, as you guys can see it. Okay, now let's configure of whatever I was talking about in regards to the shared disk. Now we need to make sure we add the disk into the one node or one machine. Okay, configure the virtual machine configuration file and make sure copy those configuration to the other machines directory as well, so that all of them see the same thing in their specific section, right? This is the specific section, right? Settings for the virtual machine. So what I will do, edit the virtual machine. Let's first add into the first node. So you have to keep moving. Okay, create a new virtual machine, let it be SCSI. Okay, next, create new virtual machine. Now you have to stop here, make sure you provide the specific space whatever you require. Now allocate the disk. Okay, and store the virtual disk as a single file. This particular persistent disk and shared storage type of disk do not require to create, do not, so I'm saying no. So for the configuration of shared disk in VMware environment, you need to make sure you need to allocate the disk and make sure the virtual disk will be in single file. This cannot be a dynamic disk whatever you have created for the local machine. Okay, here this cannot be same as this. Okay, while creating that hard disk, right, before installation of operating system, I selected this, these were not selected. Okay, this makes the machine, the hard disk as dynamic. Okay, but this will not be dynamic. Okay, so make sure these two are selected. One is checkbox and one is radio button. Let's move on. I will name it as ext. Why I'm naming it as to recognize these disks. Okay, eventually ext disk will host OCR and voting disks file, which are very important file in clusterware environment. Other than that, we will be creating FRA, flash recovery area, for storing of backup and recovery files, as well as the archive files which is generated from the redo files. Okay, so let's browse it, and I will store that into the specific location where I'm going to store it. I think I will store here, disk for 19C. It will take small amount of time, not much, but specific time, right? Because it is allocating that space. So what it will do, it is going to pull out that 65 GB of space from your hard disk, right? Now you cannot use that 65 GB because this particular machine and this disk is using it for that specific purpose. So it will be pulled out automatically. Let's do it for others as well. Stop here, then check what you need to do. Now you have to create 50 GB and 30 GB. So I'll say 50 GB, allocate all disk, now store into single file. I will say data, store it into the same space. Okay, specific location, finish it. It should be completing faster because of lesser amount of space provided. Let's do the last one, FRA. Okay, 30. So these will behave like shared disk, but before, so it's not done completely, right? As soon as this completes, right, we have to go to VMware virtual machine file, we have to configure specific stuff and then copy the same configuration to the other machines as well into their specific files, so they will say it is persistent. So this is done. This is pre-allocated. Okay, you have allocated it. You will say okay. Okay, now you see something different, right? More disks, right? Eventually it will say persistent. So for that we have to do some specific configurations. For that we need to close this machine, complete window. We need to go to those machines location. For that, okay, just a second. Where I needed to go. First I need to go to the first machine. Okay, rack 1 is here. This is the virtual machine configuration file. Right click, edit with notepad. So this has to be done properly, otherwise the file will be corrupted. Okay, so just change into the specific location. I have provided those stuff in the notes. These are for the operating system. I am not touching that currently. What I am doing is I am going to the specific location for copying of this file. Okay, so copy this, go here, paste this. Okay, just under true, and make sure all of them are 3. So there will be 6 parameters for this specific disk FRA. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6. Same thing has to be done here, but these names number will be changing to 2 2 2. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and copy paste here as well, because I pasted one, so everything is matching, so I don't need to do anything. Now you need to make sure that you have to put one parameter where you don't want any of the machine to be locking this particular these 3 particular disks, right? You need to make sure all of them can see and write and read to it properly without locking each other. So there is a specific parameter which VMware has provided. If you want to configure the shared disk, just copy and paste here, save it. Okay, now take everything from here until the 3, okay, where we started it. Just copy that, close this, save and close it. Okay, and then go to 3. There will be configuration file. Just go at the bottom of it, paste it, save it, and there will be 2, number 2, with that rack 2 dot local domain. Okay, save it, close it. This is done. Let's close this. Let's open the VMware. Let's see how it goes. So now you can see the disk shows persistent. All of them can see these disks. 1 2 3. All of them can write. Okay, so important part is done. Let's start the machines. So I hope all these machines are started. Let's reconnect. I will press R. Yeah, it's connected. So you see how easy it is, right? The display setting is very easy to configure as well. The look and feel is also good, better than PuTTY. For PuTTY you have to create multiple windows and then make sure to stack properly and then see whatever is going on into the different session, but here you can just click and go to the specific section. So I like this. You guys can install it, it's free. Okay, now that part is done, creating the shared disk. Now let's go to the notes. Now the operating system configuration part has come. Okay, So we need to, because we will be installing Oracle, right, on top of this operating system, as Oracle is a client to this Oracle Enterprise Linux, that is Linux flavor. Okay, you need to make sure to set up some specific kernel parameters, okay, operating system parameters and system configuration parameters. You can do it manually, but Oracle provides this specific script. You can just go in, run using yum installer, and then directly install it. It will configure everything for you. You have to be root for this. Okay, so we will run on each node. Just press enter. By the way, internet connectivity we are getting from the bridged adapter. I have already shown you about bridged adapter, right? So see, all these packages it's installing. These has to be done manually if you wanted to do manually, right? It was longer step. It will do everything for you. So Oracle has done a very good job in providing this particular script. It takes a lot of time away from you, and away from you means you don't waste your time configuring the operating system parameters for Oracle database. Okay, so this thing is done. All of them are done or not? Yeah, I think everything is done. Now let's go to the nodes. We will have to install, because we will be setting up the Oracle ASM. Okay, automatic storage management. Okay, ASM actually is used for creating the shared disk. Okay, so that the Oracle instances, Oracle node can read and write to that particular shared disks. Okay, Oracle ASM removes the middle layer, that is logical volume section, from the operating system itself, and it creates its own layer. It's easier to write, faster performance. For more information, you can go to my Oracle ASM latest videos. Okay, it has general idea of what Oracle ASM is. Let's copy and paste and run it. We have to do all this thing on all the nodes. Okay, make sure not to miss any of them. All the configuration must be same. Okay, this one as well. Where I am. Okay, this particular package will take slight more time. I don't want you guys to see these getting installed. Okay, so all this package has been installed. Okay, so this is done. Let's go to our notes. Now, because you have used this pre-install utility, the Oracle ID has already been created with this. So let's change the password for Oracle ID, because the password is not set up. Passwd Oracle. You guys can set your own password, whatever you guys remember. Okay, so password has been updated now. Let's go to the nodes. So we have completed the initial step. Let's go to this particular SE Linux and let's disable it. Okay, otherwise it will block the connection. Let's clear the screen first. Vi. Okay, it is in enforcing, right? So make sure to say disabled. Vi paste disabled. vi, let's clear the screen. Let's paste it. Okay, disabled, sorry. Okay, all these three are done. What we will do, we will copy this one by one. Let's see, there is one dot after this, as there is dot after this as well, I think so. Yeah, service. We will copy this, paste it, make sure to persist it for the restart as well, otherwise every restart you have to shut it down and it will block the connection, that is network connection. Okay, so next time when the server restarts, the firewall will not be started. That's what we are disabling. That is done as well. Okay, so now the groups, chances are that many of the groups has already been created, but we will rerun. How the groups are created? Using this pre-install utility. I told you, right, Oracle provides this. It actually gives you many stuff, but some of the groups are very much required, including these three for the ASM. So let's copy this and I will just run it. You see, it says exist on many of them, but whatever is not created will be created. Sorry, copy this, paste it for this as well. So everything is going fine till now. We will copy this, make sure to modify the Oracle user and provide it all these secondary groups. This particular user mod will make sure that this Oracle user will have these specific secondary group, which will make it owner of ASM as well as the Oracle database. Okay, which is very important, otherwise it will throw errors saying that this Oracle ID is not the owner of this particular directory or this particular home. So user mod is very much required. Make sure to provide all those specific groups. Let me clear the screen, it's very much cluttering up. Okay, this is done. Now during the installation, right, I created the manual partitions. You guys also need to create the partition. For more information, you can go ahead and watch my how to install CentOS and Oracle Enterprise Linux, how to partition all these things. Okay, but we will be using two partitions. I have created two partitions apart from swap and slash. Slash is for root and swap is for the memory under hard disk. You don't, so we will not be discussing about swap. Okay, so if there will, so just give you an overview of swap. If there is a memory contention, okay, and if there is very least amount of memory, let's say, okay, while reading and writing, Oracle database is pulling the records and pushing the records and memory is in contention, so chances are that the least used blocks or least used stuff on the memory will be pushed to the hard disk, right? So don't worry about that. Okay, so four partitions I have created. One is slash for the root, slash grid for the clusterware home, okay, where we will install the clusterware software. It will be completely separate from the Oracle database software. Okay, so make sure these two are created. Okay, and then change the ownership and provide the ownership of this particular directory as Oracle and the group as oinstall, same as this one. Make sure the permission for user group and others is 775. Okay, so just copy and paste, because I already have these two partitions. Done. Paste it here as well. paste it here as well. So this is done, permission is provided. Okay, we need to make sure we will create subdirectories under /grid and /oracle. Okay, why this is required? Because if any one of you guys have installed Oracle 11g-r2 or 12c, right, you must have seen that while installing using the the Oracle Universal Installer, either grid infrastructure or grid clusterware software, actually not grid but clusterware software, as well as the Oracle database software, and in the specific location, the software will ask you to provide the Oracle base or grid base or Oracle home or grid home. Okay, at that moment you actually manually type there and then provide that information. But in the latest version, after 12.2 and beyond, you need to make sure you pre-create all these directories where you want to store the software. Unzip file in here at the last part of it. Okay, the /grid here. Okay, and then db here. You will see many folders created. Okay, after unzipping the file, these unzipped files will look the same as when you have completed your installation of either Oracle database software as well as grid infrastructure software or clusterware software, so that when you start the installer, right, so that when you start the installer, you will reach to that specific point where you must have seen in 11g-r2 or pre-12c, you must have seen that it will ask you for the Oracle software or grid software home. In this particular case, right, after 12.2, it will not ask you to provide that. It will actually pick up the location where you unzipped the file. So for that reason, I'm emphasizing saying that you need to make sure to unzip the file into the proper location. Otherwise, if you unzip it here, okay, just go to cd2 here and then just unzip here, Oracle will assume that you want to install the grid software here, right, which you don't want. You need to have a specific directory created first and then do the other things. And for the grid base, make sure to create the directory. Okay, so there is a grid, so under just grid there will be /home and grid /base. Okay, so I'll be creating these 3 directories. But before creating the directory, because we have already set up the Oracle user, we will connect using the Oracle. I have already set up the connection, so I'll connect using the password. It has stored the password. Okay, now let's go to another one. It will ask for password. I think I have mistyped it. Yeah, so this is done as well. Let's go to third one. Do the same thing. This is just one time. Okay, why I have connected with the Oracle user? Because when you create those directories using the root user, those directory will be owned by a root user, right? And when you try to install Oracle software, you won't be able to install using the Oracle user. Okay, so you need to make sure these directory or subdirectory created under these are owned by Oracle. So better is to create, because we have already changed the ownership of these directories. Better to connect with Oracle and create subdirectories under it using the Oracle ID. Okay, so just copy and paste everything using Oracle user. Paste it here, paste it here, paste it here. Clear the screen, clear the screen. Okay, and final part is, let's copy the softwares, both grid and database software, to the specific location. I will show you where I am copying, and then just finish off this video. And after this particular video, we will start setting up the ASM. Okay, so let me copy using the WinSCP. Okay, I have to change it. And more important thing, you don't need to copy those software in all three nodes. Okay, you have to make sure to copy in just one node. That will be first node, right? Rack 1 in my case. So in your case, maybe whatever name you provide, and make sure you just copy on the first node. Okay, why? Because when you start installing either the database software, okay, or the Oracle cluster based software, the software itself will connect, okay, create the SSH passwordless login. Okay, it will ask for Oracle ID and password and during the software installation, and it will connect using the SSH passwordless login, and then it will copy the software to all the locations, right, in all the nodes. Okay, so it will be taken care by the Oracle. So I will be just copying into the first location, save, login. Yes, first of all I'll copy into the grid. So I'll go to grid, home, 19.3 grid, and I have to locate my software 19C. Okay, so these two are the software. I'll copy the grid home here, let it complete. Now let's copy the database software into the specific location. Copy here. Okay, so let it finish it off. Okay, so I will close this video here. In the next video we will start setting up the ASM and we will go further. And thank you very much for watching. Okay.